Shia LaBeouf had that one was that last year or 2 years ago, the 4th of July meltdown in New
There's a movie
York,
coming out that looks pretty legit.
where he plays a white gangster.
Is he supposed to be Mexican or is he white?
No, he's white, but he grew up in like the hood.
Did you see the tattoo he got for the role?
Like a real one?
His whole torso is tattooed for the role. A real tattoo.
That's sick. That's real sick.
Yeah, the dedication.
He's fucking insane.
Just get a temp one.
No,
that's
not really delving into the role.
Yeah, so, is he gonna get it removed?
No.
All right.
And like the name of his character, which is like some stupid ass name, is like on his stomach.
All right.
No, the motherfucker's crazy. All right,
yeah,
whatever.
I mean, isn't he? He's a method actor, right? He's crazy.
Yeah,
crazy. Yeah.
That's what he was doing in the movie. Fury? He ripped his own tooth out.
Yeah.
And he didn't. He stayed in the tank for weeks and didn't shower.
Didn't shower.
They said he was like
that.
stank of shit.
I mean, that's what Daniel Day-Lewis does, and he's one of the best ever. So.
Didn't Jared Leto or whatever do that for?
Jared Leto's what method acting does in the wrong circumstances. He took being the Joker too goddamn literally. He was like sending people flaming piles of human shit in like the trailers and stuff.
Same thing happened to Heath Ledger.
What did he do? He was sending vials of blood to people.
Nice.
Of his own blood.
Well, Jared Leto also didn't realize there was a pandemic on because he was doing a 30-day tranquil getaway in the woods somewhere and came out and was like, what's going on here?
Oh, shit.
Also, he got AIDS for Dallas Buyers Club. Fun fact.
Bruh. Okay.
Shia LaBeouf will probably do that, though.
Temporary.
Welcome back to all
AIDS.
sorts of sports.
Oh, you got to do the countdown so I can cut it. Jackass. Right. Learn.
No.
You did a really, I will say, we'll get into that now. I'll give you your flowers, as you like to say.
Oh, thank you.
Shut the fuck up and count us down.
Fine. 3, 2, 1, boom.
Welcome to the show.
Stop with that fucking move.
It's my signature.
Oh, okay. You look like an octopus.
Yeah.
Is that how octopuses do?
Yeah.
That's what me in the club doing the octopus.
Yeah.
That's the new dance. Man, they need to come out with more songs with dances. I miss those.
Now, so what episode is this? 11?
10.
10.
Oh. You sure?
No.
Yeah, I'm the one that edits the videos and puts the numbers on it. So, yeah, I'm assuming I know what fucking number we're on.
Maybe you're still drunk. All right, fine.
I don't get drunk, you piece of shit.
I don't even know what day it is.
I did have a hangover this morning, I think.
So
I mean, you know, I'm sure you would know.
I drank 3 Mike's Hard Lemonades, and it put me on my ass.
Dude.
So were you not drunk?
Too much sugar.
I wasn't drunk, but I think it was the sugar because I woke up this morning, I couldn't move my neck, my hand. Also, we're kind of on the interpretation I might have had a stroke because, like, my hand's been twitching. I had to have the girlfriend open up a bottle of apple juice because I couldn't open it.
No, you're dehydrated is what you are.
Yo, my pee was the same color as the apple juice. That might be it.
Yeah, you're dehydrated. It's what you are. Trust me.
I don't care about this.
It's important.
You're the host. What are you doing? You're supposed to control us.
Health is wealth.
Don't tell me about your pee.
Would you like a taste?
Fam. All right. No.
No,
I
have to be specific. The answer is no.
No.
But why is this just pointed at the...
We're going to fucking interrogation light?
Yeah.
Huh?
You got an interrogation light?
Yeah.
What poor black kid are you sending to jail now?
No, I do the opposite. I'm on defense. God damn it.
Yeah, but you do it for people with money. You
I do pro bono cases.
I mean, you are my lawyer. Yeah, I do have your own retainer. You cost me
fortune.
Quite a buck.
All right.
Well, happy
So we're going
for
to start this episode off with a rest in peace to Joe Bugle. That's how you
Coach
say his
Bugles,
name?
baby. Yeah, rest in peace, man. Best offensive line coach in the history of NFL.
Yep.
Bar none. If you like mob movies, like Joe Gibbs being the Don, he was 100% the Consigliere, just right there standing there. Like if Joe Gibbs needed a man killed, you could let Coach Bugles handle that shit. He would have handled it in spades.
Dude, that was back in the days where the Redskins were watchable.
But even when he came back, when Gibbs came back for Gibbs 2.0 with the Redskins, the first person he called was Coach Bugles and said, "Hey, we're starting the gang back up." And he was like, "Where do you need me?"
Yep.
Okay.
Wait,
okay.
he was like in his 90s too, right? Wasn't he?
What did he pass? I'm getting a couple of people that got passed away confused. He might have been like 80 something or 90. He was either 87 or 91, I think.
Al Davis would have been 91.
That's for the other one.
Yeah, so he was born on July 4th. So, yeah.
I refrain from saying anything inflammatory. Rest in peace, Al Davis.
Appreciate it.
Well, he's 80.
right.
Still a pretty
So
good.
let's continue on with the Redskins. And
Woo!
a lot of stuff has come out ever since we posted that last video.
Yep.
Yeah.
What do you think, Kadir?
Well, I mean, let's recap what's happened. So so since we posted the last video, there's been a groundswell more than usual about changing the team name again, which is something that I know I've talked about almost every single time that we mentioned the whole Redskins thing, which is like step number one, at least trying to do anything in the right direction would be to change the team name. And this week you had actual companies start putting places, start taking a stand on it. So I think it was, to start off, it was FedEx, Nike, and Pepsi. They sent a letter to Dan Snyder basically saying, hey, we think it's about time that you guys change the name. Then on top of that, you had one of the higher-ups in FedEx, Fred Smith, who is also a part owner of the Washington Redskins, sent a personal letter to Dan Snyder saying, hey, it's about time we change his team name. Mm-hmm. Then right after that, we had Nike pull every Washington Redskins merchandise off their website. And Nike actually makes the uniforms as far as the NFL goes right now. So that's a big moment. I know I've talked in the past about my brother being a season ticket holder for years. I was actually over at his house when my phone went off and it showed that Nike pulled everything out, and he lost his shit. He was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Now, he still has a couple things before he watches NFL again. His second piece is that Colin Kaepernick needs to be on the team before he watches again. But I understand, at least with the name change, it's a step. It's the biggest step in the right direction that Dan Snyder's ever done. That's not to say that Dan Snyder hasn't been a problematic person that does not absolve him from all of his sins. But it's a huge step in the right direction. And it really no better time than right now to make the change. So then there's word that came out of the last couple of days. They've been talking to Ron Rivera about it. Now the stories are coming out that they've been talking about this behind league circles for the last 2.5 weeks. Ron Rivera has actually been involved in the last week. They have names that they're going through. Then you look at like the Adam Schefters and everybody else that's on. There's a chance on record-breaking time we could have a brand new team name by next week, or at least before training camp starts at the end of July, which is insane.
Yeah.
This is huge.
I want to add something though.
Yeah.
I feel like Snyder dropped the ball, right?
Which time? All the time.
I know, but I'm saying with the team name this time, he had a chance to get ahead of it.
Of course.
Instead of having like FedEx and Nike and Pepsi come out and say, hey, we're changing all this shit until you do this.
Remember last week when I said he had a list of the things he was going to try and do to assuage the fans.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing on that list, he had to check every box. The last thing he was going to do was change the name. And then FedEx and Nike hit him in his pockets.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, fuck, I'm just skipping to the end. I'm going to check this box right now before I, like, basically he would have had anarchy. I mean, you can't lose his 3 main sponsors. Like jersey sales
and the name of the damn stadium.
Yeah, like
well, I mean, the name of the stadium, they already paid the money for it. It's not like they're going to pull out.
No, but
the contract's good until 2025.
I mean, I'm sure there's something in there with racial problematic shit. I mean,
doubt it because all these years has gone by. You have a change of heart,
but
like
nobody
that. I
was.
doubt that will work.
Nobody was blaming.
cared, like,
nobody was blaming FedEx though. They
Yeah.
just played
Yeah,
at
they were.
FedEx.
Yeah, they were. We were all people in DC, as far as fans of the team.
Nike,
We've been blaming everybody in the sense that if you keep the same reason that FedEx Field is half empty most weeks is that finally you had fans that started to get hype and to get to become knowledgeable in the sense that we're not going to support this team with our dollars and cents. They might
Right.
get the TV revenue, but we're not paying for the parking passes. We're not going to the stadium to do this, that, and the other. And we've wanted things to change. Now, I'd say, in all honesty, most of us as fans have not wanted it to change as far as the team name has not been the top priority for us.
Right.
As much
That's
as
what I was
we
about to
want, as much as we want to win. We just want a winning
Yeah.
team. So I think that's been our thing as far as like we don't want these people supporting it. But then it's even hard pressed when you start stepping away from the team as a fan that you start thinking about the team name a bit more. I don't think majority of Redskins fans are racist. I really do think the majority of us, the same way that I thought years ago, that the Redskins name wasn't racist. I did believe that. I bought the story as far as the where the name came from, the Coach Dietz, all that stuff from way back when, that they had a Native American actually design the logo, that they did all of these things. I started believing the Washington Post polls that said 90% of Native Americans didn't believe that it was offensive. But then you try to omit some of the fine print. What they did on that poll was only, I think it was either 200 or 500 Native Americans across the country that they polled for that. You start thinking like, all right, maybe this is a little Then when you start seeing Dan Snyder's bringing like the chief of a certain tribe and sitting him up in the press box and he's got a Redskin hat on, that you start feeling a certain way. But the more that you start digging down, I think that people looking at Dan Snyder and what the product is on the field as far as how fucked up he's been, as far as the product, gets you to start being more hypercritical of the owner. And then you add on top of that how crazy he was, all caps and over my dead body, basically, we're going to change the team name. You start saying, okay, am I on the right side of this thing if I'm aligned with this guy?
yeah.
Then on top of that, you just how do I say this? Look, I've said time and time again that I believe that historically, as a Redskins fan, I feel like I'm on the wrong side of history. I'd be lying to you if I said that the team name is my top priority when it comes to the organization. It's mainly the losing. But I think right now, the same that we talked about last week, there has never been a better time for Dan Snyder to at least try to attempt to do the right thing. And what I am saying as far as that list that Ryan was talking about, as far as the last thing on the list, if you listen to some of the reports coming out of here, he's going kicking and screaming. It's not easy. Apparently, he's only talking to a select few in his inner circle, ones that agree with him. He doesn't want to do it.
I think we've all been in agreement that all Dan Snyder's cared about since day one is money. He gets the high-profile guy for $100 million because he thinks it's going to get him $200 million in sales. He does not give a fuck about anything else. He doesn't care really about the team, I don't think. He doesn't care about getting the right people in the right places for the team. He just cares about making a profit. I mean, that's why the fucking hot dogs are $18 goddamn dollars.
I mean, I've tried to give Dan credit, though.
Yeah, but this is ultimate proof that that's the case. Is the only time he thought about it. He probably knew that FedEx was going to send this letter 2.5 weeks ago, and that's why he can say, "Oh, we've been talking about it for 2.5 weeks." He knew that shit was coming down the line, and he knew he was going to lose significant amounts of money. I don't know if he thought that Nike was just going to pull all of his products, which probably was the catalyst for everybody starting to be like, "Oh yeah, we've been doing this for 2.5 weeks. Me and Ron in the back, we've been talking about it."
Right.
No, that's bullshit. He saw the fact that if Nike doesn't put those jerseys up, we're not going to sell any jerseys. People aren't going to come to the stadium anyway, and we're going to lose some more people who are like, well, if you're not going to change the name now, I'm not watching you on TV either. There's no fans that he's going to lose by changing the name right now.
I disagree with that.
And the fans he does lose, he's going to make that up in spades from the people who are like, okay, I see a change. I see a little bit of trying. Let's give the Redskins another try.
I don't think it's that. I think it's more along the lines of like, if you ask me year in and year out how I feel about the organization, right? I've never felt more happy as far as having Ron Rivera as a head coach. I haven't felt this happy about a head coach change since Joe Gibbs came back. When you have Ron Rivera come in there, you're saying, all right, maybe it's the dawn of a new era, right? But once again, even talking about more what Dan Snyder does, especially in this climate, just as a sidebar, the amount of money he even donates to Donald Trump, which is something that people have been talking about a lot recently. Like he needs something to hold on to, whether it is that there are a bunch of racist assholes out there. even some people that aren't necessarily racist, but they're still in the mindset that I was in years ago, which is that the team's not racist, this, that, and the other. There might be a sect of people that walk off, but trust me, if he does a fire sale on all Redskins gear right now, that's just going to sell out. Then if there's a new name to add on top of that, he's going to make up all that revenue when it comes to new equipment and new everything, because everybody's going to want to go get the new shit.
Dude, that Red Tails jersey would be sick.
Well, that
You know what?
actually
I would
brings up
buy
something.
one.
Yeah.
Well, that brings up something. I wanted to go through some of the names with you guys after we kind of go to see what's what. But to me, it's like that would be the – so that's where I go to, is where it's never been a money thing for him, because you'd make more money with a rebrand. You would honestly make more money with a rebrand.
Yeah, because I can't wear my, RG3 jersey anymore.
That's what I'm saying. If you got the
I have a
racist
question.
people that want to hold on to the name, they're going to go buy up all the Redskins stuff. They're still going to
I
want
have
to
a
wear that
question,
shit.
though.
Let them do it.
Is it the same type of process as if, you know how like a player wants to change like their name or something or their number, that they would have to buy the rest of the jerseys that are in production and then they can switch?
If
Is that the same thing for the skins?
I doubt it, because other teams have done this, right? It's not like it's new. New Orleans has changed the name of the NBA. Charlotte changed the name of the NBA. Nobody had to buy up all the additional products. You just buy it as a throwback.
The Oilers changed names.
I don't know how they'll do with the Redskins gear, but there's enough already out in existence. If they just said, we're stopping production, you can buy what you want to as far as throwbacks. I mean, I doubt we'll ever see the Native American logo again on stuff, but you can't tell me that I'm still not going to want to buy or rock my 1975 yellow throwback, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm still going to rock my throwback Redskins gear. It's just that if we can change it to something new, then yeah, I'm going to go out and I'm going to buy some new shit anyway. Even though, in all honesty, even with the name change, I'm still hard-pressed to support Dan Snyder. This makes it easier, but this still doesn't change overall what I feel as far as the Redskins.
A name change and some winning.
That to me is huge.
That's a great combination for Dan Snyder.
But even what we talked about last week, you got the Jack Del Rio bullshit, and he's still tweeting up a goddamn storm. Especially yesterday.
I honestly forgot about Jack Del Rio until right now.
I'm
and
just
that's
waiting
how
for his dumbass to say
genius.
something about the team.
That's how genius his name change is.
Well, even got Dwayne
Change the
Haskins.
narrative.
Dwayne Haskins has even chimed in.
Yeah, he says he likes the Red Tails, and I don't blame him.
So that would be the thing, is that like the new team name, right? So there's a bunch of names that came down. There was at one point, there's the team name that I think everybody kind of expects it to be, and it's because he had the trademark at one point. I think the trademark expired though, but Washington Warriors is most likely. I think everybody believes that that's what the team name is going to be. I don't mind that team name at all. I don't think it's really original. I'm not a huge fan of it. It's not my favorite at all, but I don't mind it, and it's better than Redskins.
Yeah.
Plus the alliteration, the WW.
I like the Red Tails.
I love that.
I
So
mean,
Red Tails would be the next. That would probably be my favorite.
HTTR, it doesn't change it.
Right, as far as the Red Tails thing. Not to mention, if you're looking at historically, like what I've talked about, as far as the racism that exists, as far as the organization, you do something like, for people that don't know, the Red Tails were the fighter squadron. I think they were Army Air back then. The Tuskegee Airmen. That was the name. They were the Red Tails. So
it's the Air Force.
I don't think the Air Force existed back then. I might be wrong.
I mean, it was the Air Force section.
Okay, from where it was. So it's like the Red Tails would be a huge thing. Now, I understand people saying, well, the Red Tails don't really have anything to do with Washington, D.C. It doesn't really fit any of the motifs.
I mean, they flew the Tuskegee Airmen's planes over D.C. last night for their fucking flyover stuff.
Well, that's the thing that's kind of easy about D.C. is that, I mean, we got the Pentagon here, we have the government here, so it's basically anything along those lines kind of work. There's the one that I've talked about recently, which is Red Spears. Which I didn't mind because we can still use the logos we've already had in the past, so you can still kind of hold on to the legacy.
Yeah, you take the Indian off, leave the spear.
Leave the spear. Now, there are some people that say that we need to leave all of that behind, that we need to get far away from any. And I can understand where they're coming from there on it, that like we have to completely leave that Redskin past behind us. So Red Spears might be holding on too much to it. But then there's all the other things, like people are saying, well, why would we tie something more along like what the Nationals and the Capitals do? Maybe you bring the Senators back. Maybe you go all the way back. This kind of ties in with the Red Spear comment, which is some people are saying, let's go back to the Braves, because the Redskins were the Braves way back when, or maybe call them the Brave Hearts or something. But to me, that's still it still kind of fits into that.
Yeah, I
The
think
Atlanta Braves
I
are
mean
gonna
the
be in
Atlanta
hot shit
Braves.
anyways, too.
Yeah, Atlanta Braves are in hot water. Cleveland Indians are in
Cleveland,
hot
yep.
water. It's just
Cleveland Indians have the easiest decision in all of sports to make because before they were the Indians, they were the Spiders, and that fucking logo is sick as shit. And they got black and white as far as their colors, and that should be
Yeah,
just what they do.
the Richmond Spiders logo is sick too. So
That's what I'm saying. Like Cleveland should just change to the fucking Spiders, and they should have been done that.
plus,
'Cause
I'm
it's
pretty
just
sure all of Cleveland is just a bunch of spiders. So fucking
Don't know
hate
what
that.
that.
Really hate Cleveland.
I hate Cleveland so much. God damn it.
All the little chicks with the crimson
All right,
lips
so
and Cleveland.
Let's transition from one
I'm sorry,
problematic
Drew Carey,
organization to another.
Yeah, that's a good one though.
What, Drew Carey?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you hear what I said?
What?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
who
I've
else
stepped
is
all over your
problematic?
edge.
All right, I'm saying we're going to transition from one problematic organization to another. We're going to talk about the Patriots and them signing Cam Newton.
My second favorite team.
Well, how do you feel about him going to the Patriots first? And then also, what do you think about the contract he signed?
You want to start, Ryan, or you want me to go?
Yeah. So, I mean, he came out and said, originally I was like, man, that contract is not for a whole lot of money. But if you dig deeper into the contract and you think about the way the Patriots play, he can pretty easily hit most of those milestones in terms of his bonus money.
It's still only 7.5.
7.5 mil, which is, I mean, that's a lot of money to me. That's not, starting
What?
quarterback money, but they just drafted what they think is going to be their future guy. So, and we
Cool.
have said multiple times that you win on a rookie deal. So they
Yeah.
can't, they don't want to pull somebody in for, 4 years, $80 million. And clearly they talked to Cam. It's not like it's a unilateral decision. It's not like soccer. They didn't buy him. They negotiated this contract with him.
Soccer sucks.
No, but they negotiated this contract with him. And I think at the end of the day, Cam just wants to win. He wants to play. And being off the field for 4 or 5 years because, you want 15 million instead of 7.5, that probably does more damage to your career than coming in for a deal that may be less. Let's say he fucking balls out this year. That's gonna put more eyes on him. Or the Patriots might be inclined to keep him, as they have kept very good quarterbacks in the past for a lot of money. So it seems like the right deal. It seems like it gets him back on the field. It seems like it gets him back on the field on a very good team. So, I mean,
It's a good deal just for the Patriots.
yeah, I mean, yeah. And it's a good
Tag
deal
me
for
in,
him.
Coach.
He gets back out onto the field.
All right.
Um,
All right. Before you come and continue, let me ask you this question, man. What other former NFL MVP has been paid so little? But go ahead, continue.
No one, but I think it's changed a lot in terms of
The prices of quarterbacks has gone up.
yeah.
Cam
So-
Newton, at his height, can get paid just as much as Mariota, who's our backup.
Yeah, but
That's weird.
Cam Newton had
Jameis
some
Winston
historically
and
bad
Cam Newton's
years.
contracts combined is less than Chase Daniel.
Yep.
All you need to know.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean,
I
but
think
that's
the phrasing of this, I'm going to put you on the spot too, James. The
Mhm.
phrasing of this shit, as far as being a Patriots thing, is horseshit. This is an indictment on the NFL. It's a complete indictment on the NFL. There were no other offers.
Yeah.
Now, to
That's
me,
also
this is
true.
the best possible situation for Cam, all things considered. But we should have never been in this position. Jameis Winston and Cam Newton should have never been free agents as long as they were, at all.
Yep.
And it's what that stigma is as far as the black quarterback in this NFL, especially a black quarterback that does what he does as far as his Superman thing. Like, I look at what the Boston radio is talking about. I'm a huge Tom Brady fan. How many fucking times have I seen Tom Brady make a pass and doing all crazy shit?
Like headbutt his
He
offensive
talks
lineman and all that
mad
shit.
shit. Phillip Rivers is the biggest shit talker in the NFL. Nobody says anything as far as that goes, right? But Cam Newton wants to do a Superman thing after he dominates and scores a fucking touchdown. They want to turn that into an issue, and that's why he's getting paid league minimum? No. Now, I would say for Cam Newton, with the way this situation itself entails, Ryan's right. This is the perfect possible opportunity. If he does what he needs to do right here with New England in a position where they have a winning culture. If that motherfucker wins a Super Bowl with New England, he is going to get paid afterwards. But it should have never been this situation. The league should be ashamed of themselves for putting Cam Newton and Jameis Winston in these positions where they're getting contracts that are so fucking small when they deserve so much more.
Yeah,
and and the fact that the Patriots have nothing.
Less.
Huh?
That was the one.
The
Tyrod
Patriots
Taylor,
don't have anything on offensive line. I mean, the offense.
They don't have anything on offense, but they were still in the conversation as far as everything goes, right? Like, what
just because they had Brady, who's been in that offense.
It's not just because they had Brady. They had a record-smashing defense last year. Record defense last year.
Yeah, through the first 11 weeks, they were historically good.
That was the best defense I had ever seen.
Yeah.
And the first few weeks of that,
they haven't lost a whole lot of pieces. And
that's my thought.
Every time I'm like, oh, the Patriots, like some people left, like, star wide receivers or linemen. The next year, there's always somebody that they have that slots into that position just fine. You need a 5'6" white receiver, they'll go out and find you a slot receiver, and he'll be the best in the country.
And
you need a deep ball. You need a running game. Like, their line is so good, you can put anybody behind Cam Newton, and they're going to get 70, 80, 100 yards a game.
The line needs some work. But
the thing
that like anybody that was floating the idea that Bill Belichick was going into this year thinking about it, he was going to tank for Trevor Lawrence, don't watch football and you don't know who Bill Belichick is. Bill Belichick under no circumstances is going to throw any fucking games for anything. He knows he has the system in place. And I also know that Bill Belichick, the last thing he wants to see is look down at fucking Tampa Bay and see Tom Brady with more wins than him. Bullshit. And he was ready to go into this year with Jarrett Stidham, which I'm sorry, Jarrett Stidham is just not better than Cam Newton. But there's no chance you got Bill Belichick being unsure about them going to be able to win games. And then let's look at it historically. While I disagree with you, Ron, in saying that there were previous cases as far as the Patriots getting star guys like this and holding on to them, we've had Tom Brady being the starting quarterback of the New England Patriots for the last 20 years. Before that, it was Drew Bledsoe, and that wasn't even Bill Belichick's guy, even though he became Bill Belichick's guy, and we all thought Drew Bledsoe was going to be something special. And that's also just rest in peace to Drew Bledsoe's career, because he was a Hall of Famer potentially at one point before that kid from Michigan came and just ruined everything for us.
Ruined it.
But anytime that Tom Brady has been out over the course of the last 20 years, when he's out, they still put together a fucking squad. And you can't tell me, especially over the last few years, that Tom was the reason that thing was clicking. Tom was not the Tom of 10 years ago. Tom was not the Tom of 5 years ago. He's slowly kind of fallen off, unless we're talking about in the playoffs or in that moment where you need that perfect Tom moment. The last time you really saw Tom Brady being terrific Tom was the Atlanta game. Was that Atlanta Super Bowl? Was the last time you saw him really put that magic in. They've been able to put together certain pieces always and make the thing work. And there is never going to be a time where I doubt Bill Belichick. I can't. It's just a track record. And you put Cam Newton, you put somebody this is another thing that Bill Belichick does, which is what we're not looking at the Cam Newton thing in this context, is getting guys that feel as though they've been cast aside. Guys that have that chip on their shoulder, the Corey Dillons, the Randy Mosses, the guys that can still play. Yeah, exactly. How great a receiver was Randy Moss in Oakland? He was shit until he went. You know why?
Because he gave up on the team. Gave up. And he apologized.
Right, but as soon as he goes to New England, you get that fire lit back under you. Yeah. You know you're going to get the best out of him. And I think that was another reason that Bill Belichick let Cam Newton wait as long as he did.
That was the same. Like the same motto that we went by for so long when we were winning in the 70s.
Well, the same thing can be said about Tom. Tom was like 200th in the draft or whatever.
Cast aside. We look for guys with chips on their shoulders. Like Garrett Blunt, you get him to come in there and fucking starts dominating shit. You look at the Patriots overall through history. They haven't done this at this level at the quarterback position. If any track record shown as far as any of the other positions with people that have a chip on their shoulders, if you get the most important position with the guy who has the talent and now has a chip on the shoulder and wants to prove everybody wrong, and on top of that, knows that if he plays well, he'll get one of the most massive paydays of any quarterback in the history of the NFL, you're going to get the absolute best from this man.
Yeah, and he was that hype video with him. He was on the stair step where he's like, I've been on here for an hour. And I was like, he's trying to eat. He's
You
trying
got
to
that Buffalo
eat.
Bills T-shirt on. I'm locking up 2
Yeah.
losses. All right. If you're on the AFC East, you need to be afraid right now.
Yeah, no,
Look,
he's gonna
listen.
ball out.
The reason why I
Right.
called the Patriots a problematic organization wasn't because of the contract they gave Cam, but it was more so what came out maybe right before, right after, right?
With their
It was worth
The
it.
fine,
the video.
which is yeah, they tried to announce Cam around the same time this fine came out, and they lost $1.1 million. They lost the third round draft pick.
Yeah,
Which if Cam Newton plays well,
I'm not
they
done.
get that draft pick
Hold on.
back.
Hold on, there's more.
Okay.
their
team personnel can't film anything like for the whole year.
Okay.
And then one of the main people that was behind all this shit, he's been permanently banned. And all this comes out and it's like swept under the rug because of Cam. And they did this on purpose. And it's bullshit.
It's
And
genius.
every time this shit comes out, how the Patriots cheat, like they try to do some other freaky shit to make it so that we don't remember it. But fuck them.
No, nobody doesn't. They still give Tom Brady shit for Deflategate. Get the fuck out of here. Is a guy who still respects the Patriots to a certain degree. Also, I'm a person that loves my history when it comes to the NFL. I'm a Washington Redskins fan or a Washington football team fan. And I got to get used to not saying that R word, right? So I look at George Allen, great coach. In every opportunity he had, he was sending somebody down to Dallas to record every fucking practice. That's how it worked. Tom Landry used to do the same thing to George Allen. You look for your competitive advantage. And I'm sorry, if you're telling me $1.something million, some asshole I don't care about gets fired, and I can't film some shit, but I get a Super Bowl, guess who won?
Yeah, it's just this is the Houston Astros all over again. They scapegoated 2 guys. Everybody still gets to play. They lost a first-round draft pick, but they won a World Series. Give me that every year. I will roll through new coaches every year for a World Series.
And it's usually the optics. Hold on, one more thing. It's usually more the optics than it is the actual thing that's happening. I used to do the same thing for my brother. My brother was a coach in Montgomery County. It was basketball. And what did I used to do? I used to go around to other teams' games and scout everything. I used to scout it. I used to record all of it so that they had time to prep. And then you can do the same thing to a certain degree even when it comes to the practices. How many local news cameras do they have at all these practices running film nonstop? There's nothing that says those local news organizations can't use that film for whatever it is they want to do.
Right,
I've heard stories about that shit happening all the time.
I have a question. Are you defending the Patriots right now?
Yes.
That's what it sounds like.
I mean,
that's a little off. But okay.
I am totally okay with what the Patriots do. I don't think they
Coming from a Bills fan.
I don't think they gain a serious competitive advantage by those films. You can have people just stand there and write down what they're seeing. They just decide that they want to film it because it's worth it to them for $1.1 million and just scapegoat somebody on there. They know what they're doing going into it, and they weigh the pros and the cons. They're like, well, I think that this is worth if any punishment we're going to get. It works.
So the cheating is worth it.
Wait. No. This is what I'm saying. The optics are different than what it is that's actually happening. How many times do you see right after training camp starts, you get a lot of division rivals pick up that player that got cut from the other team? Why do you think they did that shit? So they can get the intel. That's it. That's the only reason you do it.
Yeah, you want to get this guy on your practice squad. It costs you $500,000, and you get all that information.
So what's the difference between having somebody that had a playbook telling you everything that was going on and what the hand movements and everything was compared to somebody just recording the shit? Yeah, it's different if they were going in the field and they paid off officials to then not call offensive pass interference or this, that, and the other. That's to me, it's competitive advantage. It's what they're trying to do and then they always catch them on a technicality. It's that they shouldn't have used, I don't even know what rule they broke necessarily.
They used their
You can't film the other team's sideline.
There you go. And then at the end of the day, when I look at some shit like that,
they were filming the fucking Bengals.
They were what?
Like, the Bengals went 1-15. Why are you filming the Bengals?
Well, I'm sure they filmed everybody.
Well, that's where we go back to optics. Huh? Who gives a fuck?
If you cheat, I don't respect you.
I'm imagining what the Raiders have probably done over the years. I'm gonna find something.
I mean, but our shit, like, they made rules of the shit that we did. Like,
Exactly.
they made rules after we did the shit. It was after.
Yes, because
Yeah,
it was
y'all
so
knew what y'all were doing.
bad.
That's why all the rules exist.
It was
Huh?
so bad. They were
That's
like,
why
"Oh,
all
we
the
gotta
rules
make
exist.
this illegal."
Yeah,
we probably have the rule as far as them not filming a sideline. It's probably a Raiders rule.
Yeah.
no, it's probably the Patriots because they got caught doing this shit before.
No, but why was it illegal by the time the Patriots did it?
Who knows?
It's like the
It might have been the
Brady.
Patriots before that.
It's
Or
the
it could have
tuck
been
rule.
when
I doubt
Belichick was at another team.
It's
Who knows?
the tuck
I doubt
rule and then the Raiders rules. Anyway, I think Cam is in a good position to succeed, and that's why I don't mind the contract.
I am extremely happy for Cam. When I hear Ron Rivera said that Ron
Huh?
Rivera has said that he wanted Cam to be a Washington Redskin, but the only reason he didn't do it was because he's a new head coach and he knows that he has a long leash, and he also knows that they want to see what happens with Dwayne Haskins. And if they bring in Cam Newton, Dwayne Haskins won't succeed. So that's why they say that they didn't do it. There are a lot of people around the league that love Cam. You saw the outpouring of love when he got signed by New England. There were two things that happened across Twitter and just the entire sports universe. It was people saying, "Congrats, Cam. You couldn't have gone anywhere better." And it's everybody saying, "Oh, fuck, we're fucked. Cam Newton's a New England Patriot with Bill Belichick, and it's going to be a problem."
Yeah, and I will root
They
for him
still need offensive weapons.
except for 2 games a year. I'll root for
He
Cam
is
Newton.
the ultimate offensive weapon. If he can go back to where he was, as far as I don't think he's going to become 2015 Cam again. But
I mean,
You
he's
know
not
why?
too far
Because
off.
Carolina kept letting him get fucked up every game.
I mean,
there was that. Even
Yeah.
though he had, in my opinion, he had a top 2, top 3 best running back in the league, but he was hurt last year. So he didn't really get to use Christian McCaffrey the way that you would possibly use him. Not to mention, from a wide receiver standpoint, the last time they had a wide receiver that really put fear in anybody started with Steve Smith. That was years ago. So, I mean, you can look at DJ Moores and everything else, which are like these guys, these mid-tier guys, but it was never anything that was that talented. But you get a Josh McDaniels, somebody that made Tim Tebow win a playoff game, and you put him with that skill set, fuck me.
Yeah, Tim Tebow was maybe the worst quarterback ever to play in the NFL.
I disagree with that. The motherfucker was a winner, all right?
Well,
and they
he was
should
a
have got
winner
another chance.
at heart. Yeah, and he's a Met
Huh.
now.
No, there was somebody who threw like 4 interceptions in a game.
Oh, what's that
First
asshole from Bill, Nathan Peterman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That bum.
he is terrible. But he's not.
And now
Tim
he's
Tebow
on the
bad.
Raiders.
Look
Snaps
at y'all
for
just
you.
sharing that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
The
I'm gonna
Raiders are
have
the-
brand new, fresh Washington Football Club gear soon.
all right. So we're gonna move on to another organization that's been pissing me off over the past year or so, and
Barcelona.
we're gonna talk about Barcelona.
Yeah.
I'd
There's
rather talk
some
about
things.
Liverpool some more. You know, we're just champions.
No, I mean, didn't they get the ass beat today?
No, that was
They were losing.
No, they got their ass beat by Man City.
Yeah, that was
earlier
bad.
in this week.
But they
Everyone
played- they
slips
played
up here
today.
and there. You still know you're.
There's
a winner.
no way they lost to Villa.
I heard they were playing bad, but
They were playing very poorly, but there's no
Okay.
way they lost.
They might have lost.
It's
It would
unlikely.
have been funny if they did.
I'm looking.
Okay.
I'm looking.
All right. Let me know.
They won 2-0.
Damn it.
They're not going to lose to fucking Villa,
Oh well. Madrid
even though
played today.
they're not playing for anything. Anyway,
Madrid played today, and now they're 7 points up. They got
How
a
many?
penalty. 7.
what?
But we play at 4.
Oh, okay.
So Madrid got another penalty in the 70th minute, which seems like every game they get a penalty late in the game if they're not winning. Fuck Madrid. I want to say that.
I mean,
Barcelona's been playing like trash for the longest time. There's so
Yeah.
many issues that comes out about it, and apparently, like since the last time we podcast, Messi has halted contract negotiations. So most likely next year he's leaving.
Yeah, that's what
I knew this day
literally
was coming.
the first thing that pops up when I look up Barcelona is Messi set to leave Barcelona.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
Yeah, I
that's
knew
you
this day
said
was coming.
you said you wanted it to happen because of the way the club was going.
Well, I wanted him to use. What are you doing, Kadeem?
sorry, I haven't had a white wall behind me in a while. So
I wanted him to use that as a leverage to switch the board because the board has been terrible. Like
I mean, but he doesn't really have time. He doesn't have career time left to be
I
fucking
know.
around.
So it's kind of like,
I mean, why do you think Ronaldo left to go to Juve? He didn't like what Real Madrid was doing. He has 4 good playing years left, and he didn't want to stay. He could get that money
I feel like he
anywhere.
felt disrespected, but
Yeah,
whatever.
I mean, I'm sure, but like, if you have to understand, you come to a point in your career where you're like, I got X amount of good years
That
left.
doesn't happen here, man.
It
like,
does.
you
It's
think-
happening now.
No, you think about Xavi, and
That was years ago.
what do you mean? Look at Iniesta. Look at Puyol.
situation.
Where are they?
You don't even know who they are. Shut up.
Mike Gardner.
But they're all retired.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The greats, like
Yeah,
the
they were-
greats that have been at the club forever, they either go to like some obscure league and like play the last 2-3 years and then retire, or just retire then.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, they go to
Messi's
obscure
still
leagues.
great.
Yeah,
Messi's still great.
and he doesn't want to deal with the bullshit, so he's going to go somewhere
Exactly.
else.
That's what I've been saying for the past like 4 or 5 months. I knew this was coming,
yeah,
and the board just keeps doing stupid shit. Like,
Right,
it's called,
and
we say more than the club, but like, who do they consider the club? Is it the board, or is it like the players? Is it the fans? Like, what is it?
Well, I'm sure that he's been trying to get things changed. It's not changing, so
I know.
he's pulling his last card, which is fix
Trust
it
me,
or I leave.
I've been saying this like every single situation where some bullshit happened. Messi's come out and said, "Hey, what the hell is this?" And then they go on, and then some more bullshit happens, and then he comes back and says, "What are we doing?"
Yeah,
So-
and if they're not going to fix it, he's going to walk. And trust me, I don't blame him at all.
Nah,
Yeah, I mean,
that
I don't
shit's been-
blame him either.
That shit's been
I
happening
wanted
at
to-
Arsenal forever. We have prime talent. We fuck it up. We lose the league, and then we lose the Serge Gnabry's, the Van Persies. Like, they just all leave, and they should. It's the same. It's the same thing. If you have a
Well-
club that's not going to work for you, you leave. If you're a top player,
Same
and that
shit,
works-
different
If
day, man.
Messi does
Yeah.
leave, I want him to go to either the Prem or to the MLS,
I mean, I think the Prem is a better fit. for
Why would
him.
you want him to go to the MLS?
so I can see him play.
Got it. All right, cool. That makes sense.
Selfish
I've
reasons.
seen him play already. I've seen him play already, but no, he said that
He might play
he-
for LA, Miami, or
yeah,
What,
like
Beckham
Beckham
said?
wants him.
Yeah.
Beckham wants him.
Of
but
course,
he
Beckham
said-
wants him.
Yeah, I know, but whatever. He said that he likes the format of the MLS, and Beckham's one of the only like MLS like owners that I've heard come out and say that they want Messi. Of course, everybody wants Messi, but can they afford him?
Yeah. Well, I mean, fucking Zlatan came for 2 years, had a blast, and then left.
Zlatan's Messi is different.
Mm,
I don't know who the other guy is. I know who Messi is.
Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Yeah, I know. Who
I
Ibra is.
definitely don't know who the fuck that is.
Are you
What was
gonna
that?
say Ibra and Messi on the same level,
They're not.
Ryan?
They're not.
They're
I don't even know shit about soccer. I can tell that they're not.
they're
Yeah,
close.
because I'm like, all right, is Ibra in the running for the Ballon d'Or?
Probably not.
Probably. Fuck no. Of course he's not.
It's not. No.
Uh,
What are you looking up
Ibra have
stats
a
or some
team in the
shit?
Champions League.
Yeah.
Is he leading the team to the Champions League? Nope. He is back at AC Milan though.
He
But
is.
yeah,
I want to see
another thing
Messi
that I
play for
heard-
Liverpool.
Hmm?
I want to see Messi play for Liverpool. Yeah. You're for the squad.
Nah,
That
that
would
wouldn't
be-
really work.
that would be
the
disgusting.
squad.
That wouldn't really work though.
Why wouldn't it work? You know, you
Because
just
you
don't
have
hate.
you have. All right, let me tell you about your team. Okay.
Oh,
you got-
tell me about my team.
Yeah, I am because you don't know.
I know everything about my team.
All right. Who's your right winger?
Sure.
That's
Yeah,
close.
shut up.
Uh,
So
That's
you
true.
got Mohamed Salah on the right. You got Mane on the left.
Oh yeah, those guys are studs.
Yeah, sure. You got Firmino playing center forward or
Mhm.
striker or whatever.
Killer.
Where would you put Messi in that? I mean, Messi could really play anywhere, but
Exactly. You
you have,
rotate.
you have to switch up the whole team.
You rotate him. He'll mesh. He'll mesh with the team really well. Great.
Messi could play in any squad, but what I'm saying,
Exactly. Stop. Why are you making my point for me? I know my
Pissed
squad.
me off, Kadeem. You pissed
I
me
know.
off.
I mean,
I'm so pissed that
My girlfriend
it's
just
come
walked
to
away
this.
from me in disgust.
And I'm so pissed that it's come to this. It shouldn't have come to this.
yeah. I mean,
But
just to put it in perspective, Zlatan has 31 trophies
Mhm.
and Messi has 34.
okay,
So they're not far off.
what trophies does Zlatan have compared to
Uh,
Messi?
He's got 10 league trophies from
What leagues?
he won.
league.
Are you going to count all the
Extraordinary
shit from the French league, where PSG wins every year?
He was playing for Ajax.
Okay, the Dutch league.
And then he won he's won in
He
every
went to
country
France.
he's won in every country that he's played for.
Yeah, he went to the best teams over there in every country.
Real Madrid and Barca have been the best two teams for the last 20.
He played for Barca,
Yeah, he won there.
for PSG.
He won there.
PSG doesn't lose.
Yeah, that's true. But he only played there for a couple of years.
Would
He
you
won it.
stop with that argument? You're not going to say the dude is on the same level of Messi.
And he scored in each of the last 4 decades, which is insane.
He's just fucking old. Like, come on.
And still very good.
I'm not saying he's not, but are you going to tell me you'd rather have Ibra than Messi?
Like prime Ibra?
No, right now,
Oh, no, I'd rather have Messi right
or
now.
even prime. All right,
Maybe.
this is why Arsenal's where they are. That shit right there. God damn it. No.
Well, I mean, Messi ain't working right now.
You know what? To be honest, Arsenal. I like where Arsenal is more to where we are right now.
Oh yeah,
I'll be honest with you on that. You guys look pretty good.
we seem to have a little groove going. So
Yeah, you look pretty good.
I mean, I'm not putting anything in stone saying that we're good. I'm saying we're looking better.
I mean, what? You're 7th right now.
Yeah, we're ahead of Tottenham. So
But
that's
then
a
what?
small win.
So right now it's Europa, but you'll have a chance for top 4, right?
Yeah,
Kadeem, what are you doing, bruh?
or potentially top 5 because
You're gonna have to blur yourself out.
Why?
You can't do that shit on. All right, whatever.
I was wiping
Yeah,
the
you can.
condensation off my bottle.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
he's got some condensation. So if Man City gets banned, they're
well.
already in the top 4, so it'd be top 5 with Man City being out.
Yeah.
So we'd
But
only
then-
have to get to 5th place, and we are 6 points back.
How many games left?
6.
Okay.
We got a chance. There's a chance. It's small, but there's a chance.
Okay. Well, I'm rooting for y'all.
Yeah. Well, I'm rooting for you
Um,
guys too.
I don't
just-
think
I just
Sethian's
think
gonna
it's-
make it.
I just think if it's better for Messi to leave, it's better for soccer for him to leave
Yeah,
because
I agree.
nobody wants to see Messi lose. Same reason everybody loves Ronaldo. You don't like to see him lose, and he's a fucking beast.
Everybody doesn't love Ronaldo.
Most people love Ronaldo. I love watching him play. Every time I watch him play,
Okay.
unless it's against
Is
Arsenal.
that what you mean?
Love it.
Like just watching him play, or just like him personally?
No, I could give a shit less about him as a person. I just like
Okay,
watching him play.
that's what I meant.
Yeah, and
Right,
I love
yeah.
watching Messi play. And when
Yeah,
Messi
same
plays
here.
for Argentina, I'm like, why is he still doing this? Because they never win, and it's not good. It's not good.
And
for
it's
the
not
sport.
even his fault. That's what pisses me off. And
Yeah,
it's used
it's
against
not.
him.
But if he could go and play for the Spanish national team, I would want him to do that because it would be fucking awesome to
He
watch
had a
him
chance
play.
to do that when he first started.
I know, and he decided
But-
not to.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I prefer
Can you
to
imagine
watch.
if he played for Spain?
It's like
Oh my god.
I prefer to watch the best win. Like that's fun for me to watch. It's like Germany. I hate their team. I love watching their stars play because it's fucking awesome.
If Pep stays at Man City and they
Yeah.
don't get banned, I think Messi goes there.
Yeah. Or they might. I mean, he can win the treble without UEFA, and he's getting old. Help him not to play those international
He's what,
games for his
33
knees.
now?
33. Yeah. I'm just saying, you don't have to fly to different countries for 4 months. That might give you an extra year in the end. So, I don't know. But anyway, yeah. Fuck your board.
Yeah.
Trust me, I went through a decade of that just recently, so I feel it.
Yeah.
It doesn't get easy. It gets harder.
It's kind of like at what point, like, are we gonna have to like not make the Champions League for them to change shit?
Probably.
like
It's probably money.
we're already losing all of our academy players.
I mean, it's
Like-
gonna be a money thing for sure. If you guys don't have the international play, yeah, then they'll make a change because it's just money money talks. And
I'm
that's it.
gonna end up being like how y'all are with the Skins.
Yeah, you're gonna have to find a secondary team. Arsenal's
Yeah.
always open and willing. So is Liverpool, apparently.
I ride it down with the Washington football clubs.
Washington
Okay.
football team.
All right, so
Actually, people are saying club.
Oh,
yeah,
It could be a name. I think it's a lot of people. That's picking up steam.
HTTC.
I
Sounds so
think
much
we'll
like
just get rid of
HTTP.
We'll get rid of the Hail song.
yeah.
Hail to the club. No, doesn't go. No. No.
All right, let's talk about a transfer that already happened, like actual.
Is this more soccer?
Just a
Yeah.
little bit.
Okay.
Sane went to Bayern.
Yeah, that's
Finally.
a year in the works. Not surprised. Honestly, Bayern has not been the Bayern.
Yeah,
Like
but I mean,
they
the rest of
should
the-
have
the
won
rest of
their
the
league 6 months ago, and
Yeah.
they just won it a couple days ago. Still the best team in Germany, but they're not that, you're going to lose 6-1 every game.
Yeah,
Dominant. So good for them. They have a bunch of good pieces that are young. Serge Gnabry is still a wonder kid.
where
Lewandowski's
does
getting
Sane play
older.
though?
Huh?
Where does Sane play though?
He's left wing, I think.
Yep, but they have Coleman over there.
That Sane can play behind Coleman. Coleman can go and play 9 because Lewandowski's like 100. Like they're gonna have
He's
to.
still great.
Yeah, but he missed a sitter during the Pokal final,
Mhm.
and even I was shocked. And the announcer's like, I've never seen him think about shooting that ball, and then he ended up fucking it up. He's just getting old. Like he's got a couple years left, and then that's it. So they got to start slotting in other players to prop him up, and Son is a perfect addition.
Okay.
He's young. He's fast as fuck. God damn, is that guy fast?
Yeah, sure is. All right, let's make a massive switch over to
Woo!
college basketball.
Okay.
And I think it's Makur Maker.
Oh
He
yeah,
just committed to Howard.
5-star recruit, right?
Yep. I think he was top 20. And I think this is a huge deal because in his like quote unquote press release, when he's announcing that he's going to Howard,
Mm-hmm.
he mentioned Mikey Williams, saying like, I hope to have, others follow my footsteps like Mikey. And I mean, I'm sure Mikey was going to at HBCU, and I don't know if he was considering Hampton or was it Howard. I don't remember, but
I don't think it was either one for some reason.
I don't think he named any, but I think he's like, along with like these top schools, I'm also going to be considering these other schools.
mhm.
Yeah, I was actually trying to look up as far as where it is that he was talking about possibly going. HBCU. Yeah, I think he just said HBCU. I don't know if he
Oh.
named anything. Or was it North Carolina Central?
Nah, I
No,
thought
that's
like
not right.
his parents went to either Howard or Hampton, and they were on like his list.
It might have been. In all honesty, I don't remember specifically what it is that he said. But I mean, I'd like my flowers right now for being the guy that's kind of pushing this movement a little further along as far as this HBCU, as far as the recruitment.
He was with the head coach from North Carolina Central.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Is this research hours? Everybody just in their phones?
yeah,
just
I'm just curious as to, man, because
Yeah,
like I
see,
said last week, Howard
nah,
could be
it was
the
Hampton.
best in the country.
It was Hampton because
It was Hampton?
Now, do you remember what I was talking about Howard's coach? And we went down, we looked at the lineage as far as
Yeah,
who
he went
used
to
play
Duke.
for.
Yeah, he's had some of the top coaches in the country as his mentors for the last 20 years.
We're starting to see, especially with the college athlete, like, the theme for me has been people don't understand the power that they already wield. Okay, so you got your boy Colin Hill in Mississippi, that said, hey, I ain't fucking suiting up for shit until y'all change the state flag. Guess what just came down? State flag. So there's a movement happening. Look, I'll be the first to tell you, I have faith right now that America could actually be better, and it's because of the new generation that exists, and that's Generation Z. Now, as much as they like to use TikTok videos, which I don't understand, and eat Tide Pods, which I also don't understand.
I don't understand any of this.
I know, but these motherfuckers they're committed in their thought process. As dumb as it is sometimes, they hold their convictions true to themselves, and they will fight for this shit. And I love what I'm seeing from some of these young cats out here. You got the ones that are just not talking about it, they're being about it. Yeah. Him going to Howard right now is that's a moment. That's a huge moment for us. And I think that you're just going to see more people start doing that. Mm-hmm. Or what you're also going to see is as more people do that, the other universities, like I said last week, I think 2 weeks ago, they're going to start having to make commitments within the community and within looking at their faculty, looking at when it comes to their management, whatever you want to call it, as far as like their higher ups, when it comes to their student population, to make sure it's more reflective of the people that especially bring money to their institutions. So as much as you got these college athletes don't get paid like NBA stars and don't think that they have a lot of say in what's happening, you're starting to see that tide is changing. Now, overall, I'm still like, I think overall when it comes to the movement, I'm happy as far as what the HBCUs are doing. That still does not change my opinion when it comes to the NCAA and overall guys need to get paid for their services. Mm-hmm. But at least if you got these athletes starting to make this move here, they start realizing we can get even more than just having some of these money going to the HBCUs. We can start getting paid for our goddamn selves too.
It makes it, and this is true with everything, but once you see a couple individuals, athletes start to commit to these HBCUs and it starts to get a little bit of, traction, it becomes less risky for other kids to then go to an HBCU. If they see, the Trae Youngs go and then make millions in the NBA going to a smaller school, or you see people going to Howard and they start getting, number 1, number 5 draft picks, it becomes less risky for you to be like, oh, fuck, I don't have to go to a Florida. I don't have to go to a Duke. I can go to an HBCU because these guys are getting picked up in the top 25. I don't have to go to these schools to get the exposure. And once there's enough people who have taken that risk before you, it becomes less risky and more people are going to do it. So
I mean, like look at Steph. Look at Steph Curry went to Davidson. Ja Morant went to Murray State.
Yeah.
Like
basketball is the easiest one to do because all you need is a year.
And people know who you are since you're 15, since you're 14. Like they're not going to be like, oh, he went to Howard, let's stop watching this top prospect. Right. Like, and I think it takes a while especially if you're a kid. One, you can take risks as a kid and screw up and then fix it. Once you're older, it's kind of hard. But I think it was always people went to Alabama to play football because it's Alabama. If you are a top 1, 2, 3 wide receiver lineman and you go somewhere else, they're not going to forget about you. Right. But it seems like you're not getting the national coverage. You don't see them every day, and you're a kid, and you're like, fuck, I have to go to Alabama. It's changing. And so I think once more of these recruits don't have it in their mind that if I don't go to Florida, I don't go to a Duke or North Carolina, then I'm going to ruin my future. And I guarantee you those fucking scouts, that's what they're telling them. If you come to Florida, we think you can go top 5. And they're like, fuck yes. As opposed to, you can go to a Howard and still be top 5. In fact, you may be more likely to be top 5 because you are the star of that team now.
That's it. You're 100% right. Is that it's in your interest. If you're a top recruit, it is in your interest to go to these smaller schools because it's in your interest in this sense. When you are somebody who's on the bubble or not necessarily somebody that got the notoriety coming out of high school, you need to make a name for yourself. And when it comes to those bigger schools and you got eyes on you, you see what happens on Twitter. If you make the one-handed catch as a wide receiver, if you make that clutch throw, you can get in the side the minds of certain people. But if you were a top 5 athlete coming into college, people are going to watch you regardless of where it is you play. I look at when I graduated from high school in 2007, there was a big run on high school students in DC that all went to University of Illinois. It was the recruiting, the recruiters and the coach there at Illinois were doing a hell of a job as far as getting just lay down. Lay down. All right, as far as getting as far as getting some of these talents and some of these guys coming out here. You even look as far as what's the motherfucker's name? Football head coach in North Carolina right now. God damn it.
Bush Davis?
NC State?
And no, North Carolina, University of North Carolina. Which to everybody right now, you look at UNC as far as their football program. Nobody gives a shit about their football program for the most part, right?
Oh,
But
Mac Brown?
Mac Brown, former coach of the University of Texas.
Yeah.
You see the amount of top athletes he got that came out and going to UNC. UNC's football team doesn't get
Wait,
national.
Mac Brown?
Yes.
The white guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was I'm thinking Charlie Strong. All right, never mind.
Mac Brown at UNC's football
Yeah.
program, he's building a fucking powerhouse. You look at the wins and loss records over the last few years. You don't need a lot as long as you're
Yeah,
starting to get people to believe in
He
you.
was ACC Coach of the Year.
Yeah, dude, you start looking at some of these programs that aren't necessarily known for certain things, can be if you start getting these athletes to come in here and start doing it.
Yeah.
They're
But
always
what we're talking about with basketball, right? When you said like if you're a top athlete, it's better for you to go to a smaller school. I would challenge you in this by saying, if you look at let's say Mikey Williams went to Howard,
Mhm.
right? And he's balling out, or he's doing like he's dropping like 25 points a game, 8 rebounds and 6 assists.
yeah.
He would be looked at like saying, okay, what would you do with better competition?
No, Howard makes it
That's
in the
not
tournament.
how it works in basketball. That's not how it
It
works in
is.
basketball. No, because then you wouldn't have the Kobe Bryants who came out of high school,
No,
the
no,
LeBron
listen what
Jameses
I'm
that
saying.
came out of high
Hey,
school.
wait, hold on,
Not to
listen
mention, name me the last
Bruh,
person that
hold
won
on.
an NCAA championship with a
Bam,
star in the
hold
NBA.
on. It's looked that way until they get to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? How many? Listen, what I'm like. How many NCAA champions are stars in the NBA?
Yeah,
I'm not saying you have to win it. I'm saying they
JJ
want.
Redick.
His podcast
I'm
is better than
saying,
his play.
okay. I'm saying they want to see how you play against better competition.
That's what they
So-
sell you. No, that's what they tell you is what they want to see.
And that's
It
why
has
they.
not had an impact.
That's why
It
they're
doesn't.
going
It
to
doesn't have
Florida.
an impact.
What
It
I'm
doesn't have
saying
as big an
is,
impact as you think it is. That's what
I'm
they
saying
keep.
you'll
No,
be
that's the
looked at
narrative.
with a
No,
swipe
no.
until you play
No,
against
no,
the people
absolutely
in the
not.
NCAA
You are
tournament.
falling into the narrative.
That's
that
what they
continue-
did for John
No,
Morant. What are you talking
No,
about?
that's the narrative that they tell you is that
Who's
you
they?
have to. And the powers that be, the NCAA and the NBA and the writers that get paid behind the bullshit. That you have to be on the, or you have to see in the national lights. That, no, we want to see what you look like as far as the talent around this, that, and the other. It's horseshit. They're looking
It's
at
the same thing in the NBA draft.
Dog, how many times have you seen NBA players come out of Europe or some other shithole
Yeah,
place in Africa or what have you that they didn't
Giannis.
play against any fucking talent?
Giannis.
It doesn't matter. You're talented or you're not talented. That's what they're looking at. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter about
but
who you're playing against. Not in
I'm
the
saying You
NBA.
can look talented against shitty people, but then
There's
when
a
you go up
difference.
against real ballers,
There's a difference. If you are going against shitty people and you dominate the same way you can in high school that they used to do before they put in these stupid fucking NCAA regulations, you could dominate. LeBron James looks like a star because no one else is better than him. That's period.
Yeah.
It's the NBA. It's not about the talent. Stars are always going to fucking shine in basketball. And in football, it's different in that way.
listen
Yeah,
to
You
who you're
can come
naming.
and
But
Huh?
Giannis,
Listen to
who
the people you're naming.
Giannis played for EFAO Zagreb,
Listen to
who
who
let
you're
me
naming.
tell you, they don't have strong competition.
Listen to who you're naming.
I'm saying that it look.
Like
This is,
for
no,
the
whoa,
for
whoa,
the
whoa, whoa,
1 in
whoa, whoa, whoa.
50,
This is
like
what I
the
just
1 in
said at the
50
beginning.
million people.
Oh, wait. This is what I just said at the beginning. If you
Uh-huh.
were a top recruit, it does not help you to go to one of the big programs. If you're a middling recruit, I want to go to a program that's going to give me more notoriety. That's what I started this entire thing by saying. If you're
Kawhi.
a top 50 recruit, why the fuck would I need to go to UNC
Yeah.
or Duke?
Kawhi
Why?
went to San Diego State.
Why would I do that? Because I know I'm more
What was
talented than
Kawhi's
people around me.
ranking?
Huh?
What
What
did he
was
get
Kawhi-
drafted?
No, like the quote unquote ranking of players when he came out of high school.
Oh, I don't know. Hold on.
Hold on, who are we talking about?
Kawhi Leonard.
I don't fucking know. I don't know where he was.
No,
I
he
think
went to San Diego State, but I'm saying
Yeah, no, I'm saying as far as I don't know what he would look like coming out of high school.
Yes, I did mean.
Kawhi
so.
Leonard.
Was Zion wrong for going to Duke?
No,
but
Zion was not wrong going for Duke, but Zion bought into everything else that was there. The only thing you could say about going to Duke was that you learned under Coach K.
He was.
Which I can understand that.
He was
When we-
56th in the ESPN Top 100.
See what I'm saying? Like what?
Yeah,
What?
he went-
Like you said, like if you're a middle of the pack player, you need to go
Top
to
50. Hold on, I'm throwing a number out. Top 50 is not middle of the pack. You're top 100. You're fucking you're a star, and people are gonna look at you.
not a star.
But if you're
good.
somebody who doesn't know or needs somebody to really see their game, I get going to a larger program so the lights are on you to actually shine. And sometimes if you're not that talented, it's not necessarily going to work. But if you're already a top stud talent, which is what we need these HBCUs to do, we need the smaller schools to do, is just get the top 10, top 25 talent going to their programs, because they're still going to shine at those programs. And it's not going to hurt their draft stock. It's not going to hurt their endorsement deals.
I'm not
It's
saying
not gonna hurt any of it.
it might affect the endorsement deals. I'm not going to say anything about on the
It's
front end.
not going
On the
to.
front end.
Is Steph
Bro,
the
it's
Curry?
front
not going to.
Steph
Nike
Curry?
doesn't
The
give
front
a
end, it
fuck
will.
where you play. Nike doesn't give a fuck where you play. If you
I
are
know
if you are
that,
dunking
bruh.
on motherfuckers, you're dunking on motherfuckers.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Steph Curry was number 281.
Mhm.
And where do you go to school?
Davidson.
Davidson.
Right.
Did he have anything going into, like, he didn't have anything on the front end. He started cooking in the NBA, and then he got his deals.
In the
That's
NBA,
what I'm saying,
in
on the front
basketball,
end.
the talent will always rise. It's what it is in
Agreed.
basketball.
But what I'm saying is, on the front end, you're not looked at.
Depending on who you
A
are,
lot-
where you're going.
Ooh,
It all
Wow.
depends.
Draymond as well.
I'm just saying basketball more than maybe
We're
any
the
other
Michigan
sport that we
State.
see. Basketball more than any other sport that we see is if you are talented, it doesn't matter who's around you. You're going to shine and people are going to take notice. But this thing is that the mentality of thinking that I have to be in a particular program is what everyone else sells you on to make you want to go to a bigger program.
No,
It's part
I'm
of the
not saying you
recruiting process.
have to go there, but I'm saying you need to at least acknowledge that things will be different somewhat for you going to a small school compared to a big school.
Also, I think the
If
issue.
nobody watches, like, if let's say if you go to Howard or if you go to Duke, how many times are you
5
going to
minutes
be
ago,
on TV if you go to Duke?
we were literally just talking about what the scouts do. That's what matters, and not to mention we're talking about what happens when it comes to the internet, which is how many times do you see something go viral? How many players do we see go viral on some fucking dunk shit, but then we start actually looking at their play and we're like, oh, that motherfucker's trash, right? Everybody right now in the way that basketball works is you can get your name out there if you have the talent. I want that whole narrative as far as like things are going to be different at a big school to completely go away. That's bullshit. It's complete bullshit.
Kadeem, you're misinformed if you think that everything's going to be exactly the same. That's what I'm trying to
You're
tell
going
you.
to a smaller school and a bigger school. Of course, it's not going to be the exact same, but
That's-
I'm saying that there
that's
is no
my
drop
point.
off. I'm saying
No,
that the
that's my
drop off
point.
doesn't really exist. There isn't a huge drop off. There isn't even if the drop off is so micro that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
What is so micro? What do you mean?
If the drop off between going to a program that's well known compared to going to Howard, as far as if you are a top talent, doesn't matter.
Not, talent's talent. I'm not
No,
talking
that's
about
what we're
that.
saying.
That's what we're saying.
No. What I'm telling you is if nobody knows who you are, it's going to affect your endorsement.
So why
on
are
the
you
front
arguing
end.
with me? That's how I started this entire statement, was by saying that if you are a no name, nobody, you need to go somewhere where somebody knows who your fucking name is. That's what I said. I said it. I started this entire thing off with that. Then you start looking at whatever numbers Kawhi was, or this, that, and the other. I
I
said,
didn't look at Kawhi.
I
you
did.
asked what Kawhi was. We both Googled it.
He did.
Who asked about Kawhi?
I just said that he was not highly ranked.
Yeah.
And then you
Coming
asked,
out.
no, but you asked what the ranking was as Kawhi. Sorry if
Oh,
yelling at
all
your
right. Semantics. Whatever.
semantics. What I'm saying is, if you are a top recruit In
Mhm.
basketball, there is no drop-off by going to a smaller school. That's
Yeah,
the entire point of what I'm saying.
Zion would have gotten a shit ton of money if he went to Duke or if he
Or
went
went to Howard.
Yeah, it
If
doesn't
Zion
matter.
went to Howard, he'd still be Zion fucking Williamson.
Okay.
He would still be dunking on fools. And
As
he
a
might
matter
not
of fact, it might look better, and his shoes might have kept it together.
Yeah, that's
instead
to
of
say
fucking
he
Duke
might
thing.
have gotten better shoes.
All right. No, I don't agree like
Well,
100%.
Guess
but
what? We'll be
whatever.
able hopefully in the next 5-6 years we'll be able to see. We'll have a bigger
No, I
bigger
want players to
players.
go to. I want players to go to Howard, like HBCUs. I want that to happen.
So that's what I'm saying, is that if you want that to happen, like I know that you do, what you
Mhm.
have to do is dig deeper on what it is and who it is that say that things are going to be different and why they would say it.
Yeah, why would
Different
Nike
compared to how different? When you said nothing's going to change, like that's where I had the issue. That's where I challenged you because I said some shit will change. It's not going to be the
Depending on
same.
who you are, nothing that is of value will change.
Yeah, if Zion went to Howard or let's say the future Zion,
Mhm.
highly touted, Nike's going to give him $100 million, whether he went to Howard or whether he went to
Agreed.
Duke. But also, if you are a middle of the pack person, you don't have any upfront endorsement
What
deals
is
to
a middle
begin
of the
with.
pack person?
A Steph
That's-
Curry, and you go to Davidson and you
Mhm.
ball the fuck out, you're going to be recruited higher by the teams in the NBA, and you didn't have any front end deals anyway. If you went to Duke, you would have been the 7th man on the bench, but instead you went to Davidson, and now you're number 1. There were no front end deals.
And
Now you're in the
If I'm
NBA.
mistaken,
No, hold on. But here's
Coach
another
K
point. When we're
wanted
talking
him?
about middle of the pack, right? What
Uh-huh.
number did we say Steph Curry was coming out of high
He
school?
was like 200.
200 or something. How many players get drafted by the NBA every year?
What, 60?
Yeah.
The cream fucking rises. That's how it works in the NBA. If you want to have this argument as far as football goes, I'll give you a lot more credit there. But in the NBA and the way basketball works, if you have talent, you are going to get a shot. That's
Yeah.
how it works. I don't give a fuck where you play. You can be playing in the
not
fucking
saying that's
Democratic
not the
Republic of
case.
Congo in front of goddamn monkeys. You're going to fucking get drafted.
Listen to what I'm saying. I'm
That's
not
true.
saying that's not the case. You're saying a point that I agree with. But what
So
I'm
why
saying
are you
is,
arguing with me?
you gonna listen? Are you gonna listen and understand what I'm saying?
I won't talk.
We're trying.
Are you sure? Are you sure you're trying?
I'm trying my very hardest.
Okay. All right. Hear me. All I said, or all I'm saying now, because you are right with some of the shit you're saying. Of course. Don't give me that look. I'm saying you're right.
He's listening.
It is misinformed to say that nothing will change if you go to one school compared to the other. Like, I feel like Duke and all these other universities are in bed with the NCAA.
Of course.
If you go to a Howard, on the front end, which I've been saying a lot recently, on the front end, you're not going to have the same opportunities as if you're at Duke.
But you can't make money when you're in college anyway, so
Can you?
no, you can't right now.
All right, never mind.
Did you just never mind your own argument?
Yeah, I'm saying never mind. I'm done. All right, moving on. Good news. Jonathan Irons got out of prison.
yeah, I saw that.
I want to give you your flowers on that more than anything else as far as bringing everybody to light as far as the Maya Moore thing. You've been talking about ever since me and you did the one about activist athletes. It was the first time I heard about any of it. So you have definitely been on board with at least letting people know, because I still don't think, even though it hit the news articles over the course of last week, people are giving enough respect. So I will give you your – I know you like the term
I'm
giving
late.
your flowers.
But I was late.
But dude, I'm still not even that well informed on the situation. But I know you've been talking about it forever.
But
It's front page
nuts.
at ESPN.
If it's if you look at it relatively, right? It's like if LeBron leaves, like says, I'm not playing this year because I need to go do this. And then he gets it done. And it's like, this is nuts. And I felt like I was embarrassed of the fact that I didn't know anything about it, because I knew who Maya Moore was.
Right.
Especially like when she was at UConn. like to see them like wax up everybody like every fucking game. They won with like 70 in a row, like 5 different times.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I was really happy to see that. Did you all watch the video?
I did not see
No,
the video.
I read
yet.
a bunch of articles.
So when he walked out, like she got on her knees and like started like praying and like thanking God and everything. It was crazy. It was awesome.
Look, can I ask you a question as far as in the grand scheme of things? Does it?
Yeah.
I know that you are along more of the same lines as I am as far as the NBA and what they're deciding to do and not to do. I know Ryan, you've been on the opposite side of this. Does what you see Maya Moore was actually able to do by stepping away from the game, does it have any impact on your thought process on what the NBA players should be doing?
What do you mean?
In the
Like, in
sense
terms
of
of,
not
like,
playing and getting shit
No.
done.
I've had the same thought the whole
No,
time.
I'm not talking about you. I said that me and
Oh.
you were on the same page. I was talking
Okay.
about Ryan.
Yeah. I think it depends.
Right.
So I think in terms of Maya Moore, I think it's a good bar as to what power the athletes wield, and that bar is very high. But I think that Maya Moore had this in her head well before.
Yeah.
She saw an injustice, a very specific injustice, and decided that it was more important than her career. I am totally in support of anybody who, especially if they're at that level of power, who, if I don't get a Jay-Z album for 2 years because he's working on, prison reform in New York, or if LeBron wants to take, a year or two to build schools in underprivileged communities, that shit's great. And I applaud anybody who wants to do that. To do it as a group for the NBA, I would be fully supportive of them never playing again. But I think it's just rare to find somebody with that kind of passion for something other than their sport. But fuck, I mean, I would be cool without sports for 2 years if it meant the world and the US as a whole became healthier by not spreading the corona. And also, maybe we have some extra time not sitting around in front of watching basketball to actually make these changes. So, I mean, I'm still for whatever's the best for the message and for the community. And I still don't know which that is. If it means LeBron takes a year off to do something historic, so be it. I'm totally down for that.
The only thing I would say is that if we're looking at it from a historical context, is there's not a huge sample size on one side of this argument. But to be fair, we got one situation where you had an athlete actually step away from the sport and get something to actually get done compared to athletes that have usually stayed in the sport itself and things haven't necessarily got done to the same degree.
That's
at
true.
least when it comes to this particular topic. We're not talking historically when it comes to like the civil rights movement and what Bill Russell could do and what have you. But I'm saying in today's age, we're seeing point blank, there's a difference between commercials, T-shirts, singing "Lift Every Voice and Sing" before a game, compared to somebody who says, "I'm going to use my time, my resources, my connections, my effort, my everything to pour into this thing." So it's like if I'm looking at 100% success rate with this thing compared to 0% success rate with this thing, and I'm like, all right, this has always been my argument when it comes to the NBA, is that we've tried one way before. There's another way to potentially do it. And right now, I look at Maya Moore saying, proof is kind of in the pudding. No?
Yeah, I think that if the resources of a top tier NBA player are vastly different from the resources of even the top WNBA player.
Easily.
And I think, and this is separate from the whole, what is the NBA doing in terms of Black Lives Matter stuff? I think that a LeBron James can do equal or more while still playing because his resources are still so great. They're vast. He can put together entire think tanks with just his portions of his salary to fix problems. Where I think Maya was like, okay, some of this has to be done by me. And I think LeBron as the face of anything is going to have traction behind it. I think the reason we didn't hear as much about Maya Moore, I knew about it because it's been in the Virginia lawyer circles, was because she's not as big of a face. I mean, I know who she is because I'm a sports junkie, but your run-of-the-mill person is, if you said Maya Moore to a group of 10, you might get one person who knows who that is.
Right.
LeBron James, that's 9.9 out of 10 people. And the only reason that other person doesn't know about him is because they don't own a television or read. I support whatever it is that they want to do. If LeBron James wants to put together a think tank and needs somebody on the legal side who wants to work pro bono, holler at me. But I don't know how the playing versus not playing really gets in the way of that. That is separate from, I'm still standing by whatever's best for the Black Lives Matter movement. It's what the NBA should do because they're 99% Black. And they should come together and do whatever it is that they think will forward their message. And that could be both playing and doing stuff in the community. They're not mutually exclusive.
No,
but,
of course not.
But the message
always
has
going to be both.
Yeah, the message has to be sent and stuff has to get done. Having a message is great. Acting on the message is the whole point. So I'm still in the I don't know. I'm not smart enough to know. But obviously Maya Moore is a really good example of how you can get stuff done. And there's the whole Innocence Project, which is what is the goddamn writer's name? I always forget. God damn it. Anyway, there's a very famous author who started this thing called the Innocence Project with a bunch of other people. And basically they've been doing this for the last 20 years.
Tom Clancy or
no, it's the one that writes like
John Grisham.
John Grisham, yeah. And that shit works. Like I follow them on Facebook and Instagram and I read all their stories about how there was a lot of DNA bullshit 20 years ago where a lot of people went to jail when there was no DNA evidence, and then they've retested it and they're like, oh, you're innocent. Sorry about that 20 years of your life. And here's $5 million, which really doesn't make up for it. But there's been, this has been a thing that's been happening. And a lot of it is under the radar. I know Grisham had a Netflix documentary about the Innocence Project. But like, there's so much that can be done. Obviously, the more money and resources you have, the easier it is because it's hard to step away from a job and do a different job and then still eat. So, I mean, there's so much reform that can be done. And honestly, this is a result of the need for police reform, the need for judicial reform in terms of how we're sentencing people, how we're punishing people, and how we are making a determination as to, okay, you should spend your life in prison. And I think that's probably the next place to start. This one guy, great story, glad he's out, deserves to be out. But I think at the root of it, if we want to make some real change, this is starting at the political level, getting people in that want to make actual legitimate change as to why are you going to jail for, a year or 5 years because you're a felon in possession of a firearm. Those things don't make sense to me. I mean, you committed a felony when you were 18. Somebody leaves a gun in your car when you're 35, and now you're in jail for 5 years. Mandatory, just because there's a gun in your car. There's no correlation there. So that's where we're going to start, and then we should obviously continue to get people out of jail who don't need to be rotting in there. Pretty much the drug users, the nonviolent offenders, the people who have one violent offense.
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, I think that's overall. James, did you want to say something? I thought you wanted to hop in at one point.
No, I'm listening.
But that was Maya Moore to me just showed what you could do when you really put your time, your efforts, and your energy into something. Now, I understand that her, as far as focusing on this guy compared to systematically changing a system that has existed in a country for hundreds of years and trying to figure that out is a much greater thing. But that's where I go to comparing the resources that like a Maya Moore has comparing to the resources of the collectiveness of the NBA makes me think that if they put the time and effort, it's not to say LeBron and everybody else is not doing what it is they can, but I'm saying that collectively, if they did it together, if they put the right people in place, if you had an Adam Silver or you had Greg Popovich's and the Steve Kerr saying, hey, let's get a squad of economists and legal experts and this, that, and the other all together, and let's start pooling all of our resources into changing this thing, marketing campaigns, and to get it all done. That's what I'm seeing is lacking. I was the same one last week that gave LeBron James a ton of credit for him and Maverick Carter, what they're doing as far as getting $100 million for the new media empire that you're really looking as far as African Americans. But to me, it's that we're looking too small as far as this stuff goes. And what I'm also looking at is that while I love some of the gestures that are happening, whether it's Confederate statues coming down, whether it's the Redskins name change, which really doesn't have anything to do with Black Lives Matter, when it comes to a lot of the other things that we're seeing just collectively as a consciousness, I'm not seeing enough actual reform.
Well, I mean, under the radar, I don't know if you guys know this, George Soros.
Sure, sir. Yeah, but
The
every
Amazon
time you bring
guy?
his name up, now that's Jeff Bezos.
No, it was George Soros. Anyway, he single-handedly put in like 40 different state prosecutors or 30 different state prosecutors across the country because he's just like, I'm tired of this. We need a reform. And he put billions of dollars into getting them elected.
Yeah.
That's a good start and proofs in the pudding that it works because people, unless you were targeted to go vote for your state prosecutor in or your local county prosecutor in the state of Virginia, nobody had any idea. But the people who he wanted to get the message to, like, hey, you should go vote for this person, they got the message and they went out and voted and they all won, every single one, because he put billions of dollars into the right places. Because he's like, I don't think marijuana should be illegal, and I especially don't think he should be going to jail for possessing it. And I really think we should get more mental health institutions to take care of these people who have addiction problems. So he put people in place and put the money behind it to get these people elected. And that's why weed is now legal in Virginia. He just got them elected last year, and this is already where we're at.
No,
That's
you're
how fast it can happen. Obviously, there's other stuff that we really have to work on. But like $2 billion to him is not that much money, or it was probably $1 billion, but whatever. It's not a lot of money to him. Collectively, the NBA, $1 billion ain't fucking shit. Like they could do something even greater than that.
Which
Just
is where I
saying.
start saying that like people need to hold everybody accountable, and that's why I'm
Yeah.
like the NBA players are like, "Yo, we ain't playing for shit until we get this back."
Yeah.
And like that's what I'm looking for. The further we go along the road, I'm not seeing that that's probably going to happen, but I'm going to see small micro changes occur. I still have faith that overall we're going to be in a better place than we were yesterday,
Yeah.
but it's not happening as fast as I'd like to see it happen.
All right. Well,
I ain't got time.
I'll close by saying this: if everything that we hope happens from this conversation, where the NBA like picks it up and actual shit happens and changes, I don't want in the history books that Maya Moore is forgotten about, because that would be bullshit.
I agree with that.
So,
Yeah. Especially if they switch her out with fucking Kardashian. Fuck. I'd be so angry. Oh,
all
my
right.
God.
So, moving on to Formula One. Today was the first day the first race of the season, because of all the coronavirus shit that's been going on. And it was in Austria.
It was. I watched the highlights. That shit was nuts.
I watched the race. I was pissed. I was very, very upset with everything.
Yeah, what happened? So Hamilton came in second, but he got time penalty for.
I got you. All right. So the first part I want to start off is Mercedes changed their livery, right? Because they're known as the Silver Arrows, but now their livery is black.
Edition, right? Yeah.
Their livery is black, and the shit looks great.
Yeah, that's
I need a toy model of the car because it looks amazing. And then they started the race with the drivers. I think it was like six drivers decided not to kneel.
Oh, it's six
of them
drivers
said
decided not to. Wow.
Yeah, but the rest of them did. It was 20 people. So some of them said that they were like, yeah, like us not kneeling isn't trying to say that we aren't with the movement, because we are all together, like with this movement. It's just that like the view of it as it being like disrespectful in all the other different countries, shit like that. I was like, all right, whatever. That's bullshit to me, but whatever.
Yeah.
So kneeling is more disrespectful than people dying in the street. But okay, whatever floats your boat. So of course Lewis kneeled, and the shit with him started during I think it was maybe on yesterday, where he got a penalty for speeding during the yellow flag. Even though it was a little weird because at first they didn't give him a penalty because they said that it turned green. I mean, it turned yellow right after he passed. So it was like he saw green, but then it turned yellow. But then fucking Red Bull complained, and they asked him to look at it again. And they gave him like additional like video footage, and then they were like, okay, now he has a three-place penalty. So he started off in 5th, I believe.
Yeah. He lost pole position.
Nah, he wasn't in pole. It was going to be Bottas.
Oh,
No matter
okay.
what. Yeah, Lewis was coming in 2nd. Well, he was going to be 2nd. So then the race happened. Shit ton of crashes.
Yeah. Like 9 people didn't finish.
Yeah, because a lot of it was mechanical issues.
Yeah, the gearbox in the Mercedes.
Gearbox. One dude's tire flew off.
Whose job is that?
No, like the whole like the car just fucking broke.
Yeah, I know.
And then
somebody was hammered
what
last
was it?
night.
Verstappen, he didn't even last 14 laps. What happened with him was they made like some adjustments, and when he went to use it or whatever on the
It just failed.
and he was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. My car doesn't work, so we're pulling out.
Yeah, so yeah, that was a nice start. But then Lewis ended up getting up to 2nd. But then Albon, I think that's how you pronounce his name. It was a little tricky, like on the turn, and Lewis clipped him a little bit, and then they gave him a 5-second penalty.
Yeah. I mean, it's not.
I mean, it was Lewis's fault because
you can
he
pass
was a
on
little bit ahead.
You can pass on the turn, but you shouldn't, because that's what can happen.
No, the dude was trying to pass him.
Oh, but he blocked him off?
Yeah, he didn't give him enough room, and Albon started to edge ahead of him on the turn, but then his wheel ended up clipping his wheel. He spun out, and then Lewis went on. So yeah,
I mean,
he got a 5-second penalty for him.
Them's is the breaks. He came in 4th though, right?
Yeah, he ended up
4th.
coming in 4th. Yeah, and he almost had pole, but then Lando Norris on the last lap, got in. What was it like? He was within 4.9 seconds of Lewis, so he ended up passing Lewis by 0.10
Yeah.
because of the 5-second penalty. But Mercedes fucked up so many times during that race, and it pissed me off. I didn't like the strategy at all. They were telling them, halfway through the race, throughout the rest of the race, hey, avoid the curves because there's something wrong when you guys land on the curve. So they're trying to drive perfectly throughout the whole, and it slows you down.
They had dual gearbox issues in both the Mercedes cars.
Yeah, and that's really not going to be fixed within the next 5 to 6 days because they race in Austria again next week.
I mean, they could. It might be a minor fix, but it's just unlikely.
Yeah, not the way that that should happen. Because I was like, you guys have been racing and testing all week, so it's weird that it happened in both cars.
I mean, it's clearly a part issue. Whatever they're using in their gearbox is not working.
And then on the final lap or so, they had it was a 2-second lead over Charles Leclerc.
Mm-hmm.
And Bottas was in first, Hamilton's in second. They knew that there was a 5-second penalty. If they would have let Lewis get in front of Bottas and have Bottas hold off Leclerc, then they would have finished 1-2 anyway.
Yep. But instead.
But now Lewis is in 4th.
Yeah.
So
They they had too much time off. They're a little rusty. Let them get back to it.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like Lewis will win the next couple anyway. I mean, they're only guaranteed 8 races,
Yeah.
and then you don't know what's going to happen after that. So each point really counts.
I mean, yeah, I just watched the highlights at the end, and I was like, what are they doing? What are they doing?
Yeah.
Dude, when you watch F1 racers drive, it's always super smooth, and today was not very smooth at all. There was a lot of clusterfuck. But so they race on Saturday next week, right?
No, Sunday.
Sunday?
Yeah, Sunday at 8 a.m.
Oh, okay.
I don't regret not watching any of that race though.
Yeah, watch the highlights because
No,
they're
at least watch the
fucking,
highlights.
they're fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
They're so
But-
good. And it's at 200 miles an hour, which makes it even more fun.
Yeah, and like the part I like the most is like listening to the radio messages between the driver and the crew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when if you watch it online, you could switch through to the different crews. That shit's so much fun.
Yeah, they were like, Lewis, watch the curves, man, because we're finding an issue and it's urgent now. And Lewis responds back, well, Bottas is hitting the curves way more than I am. Tell him.
It's not me. God
And it's
damn
weird.
it.
It's weird because they're on the same team, but
Yeah.
they're like racing against each other.
It's Ricky Bobby.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of hate it though sometimes because it's like,
Yeah, shake, then bake, dude. They didn't bake.
I mean, the team wants like the constructors, but at the same time, it's like Lewis is trying to go for 7.
Yeah, and you guys are clearly not letting. Also, they may have found a mechanical issue such that they didn't want him to push the car. So
Yeah, they dialed the power back.
yeah, they only have 6 days. They're like, we'll get 4th today. We don't want you actually doing significant damage.
Well, I
and
mean,
pulling
they
out
thought
next
they
week.
were getting 3rd, but Lando at the on the last lap, like had the fastest lap of the whole race, and beat him by 0.10 of a second.
You know, you don't
So-
count your chickens.
They should have let Lewis go in front. Bottas
kinda-
still would have had the win,
They counted chickens.
and Lewis would have been in second.
Counted chickens, dude.
Yeah.
You gotta watch the chicken.
Yeah. That
How long have we gone so far today?
Hour 40.
All right. So here's the last thing we have.
Oh.
It's the MLB updates. We haven't talked about Bobby Bonilla. Is that how you say it?
Bobby
Bonilla
Bonilla. Happy Bobby Bonilla Day. It was on the 1st of July, as it will be until the year of our Lord 2035, where he will be getting paid $1.1 million each
Wait,
year.
it's
on that day.
2035? I thought it was 2025.
2035.
Oh, don't you have another player on that list too?
I
Of
mean,
people
we're
that
not,
you're playing.
the Orioles are also paying him, so I don't feel that bad. Yeah, so
But
all of our
there's
money
somebody else that you guys are paying.
Yeah, but Bobby Bonilla is the face of it.
They have to give Pedro Martinez a bowl of mofongo once a year. It's Pedro Martinez.
But what do you think? Like, how do you feel about that in particular?
I mean, so the reason it happens is all of the Mets money was tied up in a Bernie Madoff account, and they obviously didn't have access to that because it wasn't there. And so at the time, the only way they could structure contracts was, we will be making money, but we're going to have to pay you in the future. And we just got taken to the woodshed.
Yeah,
I don't know how else to describe it. It was a brilliant agent move. That's $1 million every year for 47 years is,
well,
a
wait
nice
until
chunk of
Albert
change.
Pujols and Ichiro retire. I think Albert's getting 20, and then Ichiro's getting 10 plus interest.
yeah. I mean,
It's like,
there's some
God
crazy
damn.
deals out there. But more importantly, baseball is not going to happen this year.
You sure?
Yeah, so I just got, as we were potting, the White Sox and Nationals each have 2 players that tested positive just now.
Mhm.
And the biggest stars may not play. And quite
Yeah,
frankly,
Mike Trout
Mike
saying
Trout,
that he wasn't sure.
yeah.
David Price said he's not coming back.
I mean, if you have the biggest stars say they're not going to play, there may still be a season. But
I think they will.
but if there are people getting sick, like I said before, you may never fully recover from this. Like if you are a top athlete and you now lost 10% of your lung capacity, you may not be able to pitch you may be able to pitch 5 innings instead of 6. Is that worth a 60-game season? No, fuck no. Because now your team needs an extra reliever behind you because you can only pitch 5 innings. And that means that they have to bring in somebody else, which means your contract's going to go down because you're not as valuable. You're not a 6-inning guy. You're a 5-inning guy. Or even worse, you're a 4-inning guy. Oh, no, now you're a 3-inning guy. You got to go into the pen. Not worth it. Not worth it to me. So this is
it's worth it to the team, but not to the players.
It's worth it to everybody except the players and what it should have been from the beginning. I'm going to bang my drum every fucking week. Sports should not come back. Not anytime soon. None of them should be back. Even if they have any sort of success, it's a fluke. It shouldn't work. And I will also say, as far as baseball goes, I do think that if they don't have the top athletes playing and they have a bunch of scrubs playing, it'll be worse off for the sport in the long term than it would be if they just cancel.
It'll be a stain on the sport.
Yes. So,
like, oh, we're not willing to risk Mike Trout's life. Not saying that Mike Trout's not super important, but you little guys, fuck you. Well, we're willing to risk your life, even though everybody's basically equal, and except for you're not worth as much to us in terms of dollars and cents. And that's a pretty fucking shitty way to be.
I'll go further than that. If the product on the field isn't stellar right now in this particular climate,
oh yeah,
people are going to wonder what the fuck were you thinking. So, like, I know that I watch, but unlike Ryan, who watches every Mets game because he's a fucking psycho, most people do not. And when you're watching baseball, you're usually watching for certain stars, certain players, certain people on teams you're really looking forward to seeing. And if those guys aren't playing, you're not going to give a fuck.
Yeah, I'm not paying for a 5-star meal to get McDonald's. So
bingo. So, like, at the end of the day, if they half-ass this thing with a bunch of like mid-tier guys, the product's gonna suck. The worst thing you could possibly do is bring a sport back and nobody watches the shit.
Yeah. Well, I would be cool with a 1-game season. Let 70 fans in so I can get a goddamn hot dog and a beer and watch
$200.
I'll pay $500. I don't give a shit. Play 1 game, 1 inning, and then cancel the season.
If you give me $500 right now, I'll cook you a hot dog and pitch and bat a baseball and run around base my goddamn self.
I would be interested in that ASOS special.
The one-man baseball team. I get in a fight with the umpire. I get change of outfits, all kinds of shit.
Just unlimited cut screens, smack, and then it's just you change outfits real quick and run to first base.
Yeah,
I'm in. All right, final thoughts.
Well, all right, fine. I guess I can go first.
Yeah, I feel like you're always left out.
Yeah.
I did technically. My final thought last week was before we did final thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that your final thought? Okay.
That was funny. And I was like, all right,
good.
Who's next?
That was good.
My Matisse Thybulle card just sold.
Nice. Which one?
Yeah. It was, I gave you the 1 out of 5 one.
I have that one, yes.
Yeah. I think I might start to, let's like send one of those in for a PSA. But
yeah, all mine are already out. Yours are
when are we getting ASOS Sports Cards show? I'm
working on editing it after this.
Hold on, you guys did it?
Yeah. I did the PSA one. I was having I finally got a real webcam, so
yeah. So thanks for interrupting my final thought, Kadeem.
Sorry, I was really excited about the new ASOS content.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah, so that one sold. It was the 1 out of 10 purple velocity one.
Nice.
So I don't really care about that one. I like the 1 of 5. And then I might try to do that whole Trae Young one to send those in. Cause I get like the one that I sold for 200.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have 2 more that are ungraded.
Yeah.
So if I get them graded, then that's another 400.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's get them sent out. I mean, they're packed up, ready to go. So just give me the word.
I'll send you the money. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. I mean, PSA just has my credit card. So when they get them, I know that they have them because the payment processes.
Oh shit. Okay.
No, I mean, that's great. It's a great system because what if I send in 20 cards? What am I going to do? Send them a check? And what if they get a card and it gets damaged? They'll be like, we got to send this one back, all sorts of things. So I send them the slip, they process them all, charges my card, and I get a notification. So, and also their turnaround has gone way down. So
Okay.
it's not fucking 40 days anymore. It's like 30.
Good. All right. So I guess like the next video we'll do is a like case opening or
if we
box
can,
break.
yeah, if we can get it so that we can either next weekend or the following weekend, just go to my office. That way, don't have to worry about my dad or anything. We'll just
Probably
go there.
the following weekend. Let's do the following weekend.
Okay, and then we'll just I'll bring in my Mac laptop. We'll set everything up and we'll just do it there because there'll be
Sounds
nobody
good.
there on a
So,
fucking Sunday. So
You'll get ASOS cards soon.
all
That
right,
was
and
my
we
final thought.
have a huge following.
All right. Who's next? Who wants to go next?
I can go.
Okay, fine.
I'll go.
I was like, somebody
So-
raised their hand.
So, yeah, baseball, fuck you if you're not going to do it right. So Arsenal has been playing extremely well as of late, and I'm not going to get my hopes up, but I hope
United's playing good too.
my hopes are up. We're coming into the end of the season. I've been really proud at how few there have been no cases to my knowledge of of any soccer players getting the coronavirus.
Yeah.
They've been doing a very good job of keeping the sport healthy, both in the players and in the product that they're putting on the field. I am excited for the season to end, just so that there isn't anything that goes wrong between now and then. And then they're talking about starting up. Hockey did the right thing. They kept pushing it back. They're like, we're not going to give you the product until we're sure people are going to be safe. There's been a couple instances of players testing positive, but for the most part, I think they're trying to come up some sort of workaround. Right now, it looks like it'll start at the end of August. We're not sure, but it looks like this next season won't start until January, February, March. So they're going to give themselves a little bubble to reassess, reevaluate how they're doing things. So that's good. I mean, they're doing it the right way. I wish MLB would take a step back and see how other leagues are doing it and making it work and keeping their players protected and not caring about their fans as much as their players, because their players is how they get money. But anyway, that's an aside. So
They care about money.
go Gunners.
All right, Kadeen,
Get
what you
out.
got?
Next week, you're going to start hearing things come out of the Trump administration about how we need to live with the virus. If you hear that shit, if you're feeling guilty into going back to work and trying to treat everything as normal, rethink your position. If you're looking as far as overall the country, when it came to 4th of July, you see the photos that come out of Fire Island in New York. You see the photos that come out of a lot of other places across the country. And you see
In Florida. What is wrong with you people?
Yo, everybody, if you want to know whether or not you have to live with this virus or not, take a look at every other country basically that exists other than us, and you'll see how far we've failed. There should be no reason why South Korea or anybody else was outperforming us as far as dealing with this virus. There's no reason that we should be living with the amount of cases that we do have. And right now we're in a position where the federal government is not going to take care of you, so you need to take care of yourself.
I know
If you have
Virginia
places,
extended their unemployment till the end of the year, I think.
Like with the
Really?
CARE Act?
Yeah, so Virginia's just gonna, from what I was reading,
the $600 payment,
yeah, I think they're gonna continue it.
if you see something, you need to send it to me right away because I'm
Yeah.
concerned about that.
And I think so. A lot of the states are going to take loans out basically. And
Your door just
Good.
opened. So
At the end of the day, right now,
Idiot.
if you can go and get a test from your doctor, or CVS in a lot of states are doing free testing.
Mhm.
I try to get tested once a week. And when I do that, I'm keeping in contact. I know who it is I've come into contact with over the course of that last week, so I can do my own contact tracing.
Yeah. Well,
Everybody needs a position to do that. And if you don't have to leave your house, don't.
Yeah.
Stay the fuck home.
Freddie Freeman got tested on Monday, came back negative. Got tested on Friday, came back positive. So it happens that quickly, people.
You just need to make sure you're keeping in contact with the people that you do come into contact with. Do what you can and still wear masks. Stay 6 feet apart from everybody. And if you do come up positive, take yourself out of the fucking pool, drop in the 14-day quarantine, and contact everyone that you've had contact with. Kind of like how some of you guys get burnt with gonorrhea or whatever, and then have to go back and look through all the rest of your STD your sexual partners. Kind of like that.
Got to
Except
go through Tinder. Go through your Tinder.
Exactly. Right now, it's just who did you come into contact with and go along those lines. But this shit is not over, and we don't need to be used to it. We need to be doing what we need to do to get rid of it.
Yeah. If we had just stayed inside for 2 weeks, it'd be over. But
No shit. This fucking stupid-ass country.
all right, y'all. Thanks. Thanks to my dad for walking in.
That was funny.
Thanks to y'all. And
Also, James, I'm sorry. I know I pissed you off early.
suck farts.
No, I'm not.
Really?
It was just
Yeah.
it was
Not like,
you were talking past each other.
yeah. Like, we might be saying the same thing.
You guys
Just-
were saying the same thing. That's
You
why I
don't know
was just
how
saying-
many fucking times Mauricio has to point this out, especially between me and you, James. It's just black people, crabs in a bucket barrel, just trying to drag each other down. Is it? We're literally not really arguing about anything, and yet we yell at each other because we have self-hatred. We need to stop that.
No, we don't have self.
We need to be more like the Black Panthers that were out in Stone Mountain, Georgia, with guns, telling people to test their black asses. If y'all haven't seen those videos, you need to look. That shit up.
did.
That should
I
be-
did.
There actually weren't Black Panthers. They were part of the I think it was like the Not Fucking Around crew or some shit.
Well, he had a large weapon on his chest, and I support that. Hey,
Love it.
sports. The Second Amendment is for everybody.
Race wars
might
come
need
pick
to-
side.
I might need to look into that.
It's I have the videos. It's good. All right, y'all.
Thank you.
It's a
baby.
pleasure as always. Suck
All right,
farts.
next weekend.
See you next weekend.
Next week we'll figure it out.
All right, Trent Williams. Can we still do that? No.
Nah,
He's gone.
he's with
assholes.
Seattle, right? Or the 49ers.
Niners.
Niners. We got the
All right,
Washington.
no, we got a new one. Dan Snyder.
Fuck you. Don't do that.
That's rude. Bye.
Crypt Keeper.